Ladies and gentlemen, hope all is well. We live. We live. Sorry, it's a couple minutes late. Was having some technical difficulties getting on this thing. Kept saying something about broadcast. So this is gonna be a good one. I'm excited about this. Tell my guy to get in here. Let's go and get it. What we got in there? Chris Morrow, what's going on, boss? OG Tom, what's going on there, sir? We gotta set you one up too. I'll hit you up offline. Somebody go ahead and get Sean White in this chat. Tell him we live. Talk to me. How we doing today? How we doing today? Kareem Farmer was good. Yes, sir. D Moore, what's going on, boss? Hey, somebody type something in the chat. Make sure that chat is working. Give me some thumbs up. Give me some hearts. Some muscle emojis. Somebody talk to me. Let's see. I added you. It should be uploading. You know, sometimes the technology be tripping. They don't want us to shine sometimes. D Moore, what's going on, man? I think this is gonna be a goodie. How you doing, Nicole? I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. I hope all is well. Yes, sir, Scoop. We in this thing. Trying to get my guy on here. Kyle, what's going on? I tried to add him. Let me see if I can add him again. See if you can request to get on. Sean White, see if you can request to get on, because I just invited you on and it's saying adding. Yeah. Let's see. Let me try this. Let's see. There we go. That's it. There we go. Let's go and get him in there. Okay. S1, do that again. Request again. All right, I think this is it. I think this might be it, ladies and gentlemen. They always try to get us in the beginning. They don't want us to shine. Beautiful content. They don't want us to shine. Let's make sure my volumes. Can y'all hear me? My volume's good? How my levels? Yeah. We got some family in the chat. Max Bond, what's going on? I already invited you. And then we're trying to wait for my guy to get on. We just waiting for him to go. We waiting for him. It says no answer from the live guest. Let me see. There you go. There you go. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, the page is going good. Yeah, tell them the whole family. Yes. Hey, request again. Request to come on the camera again. We just gotta get our guests. He taking the scenic route. He taking the scenic route. We just gotta get our guests on the stage. That's it. That's it. Everybody's getting hyped. Everybody's amped, ready to go. I know he's ready to go. He taking the scenic route. Nah, he wasn't on my team. He was at eighth grade, and then ninth grade he went to Lutheran and came back, and then I graduated by that time. Yeah, he on the way. Okay, okay. Let's see if this is the one right here. Let's see if this is the one right here. This is much anticipated right here. This is a much anticipated conversation right here. Yup, yup. Sachem beat Sachem beat Jason Frazier's team. Y'all did? We gotta. Somebody gotta fact check that. I don't remember Jason Frazier's senior year. I don't remember them losing to Sachem. We gotta fact check that. Somebody fact check that. Dwayne was good. Holly, how you doing? Yeah, there's some grays in the beard, man. There's some. I don't know. Let me see. I'm trying to get my guy on this thing. We're having some technical difficulties, man. There we go.
Here I go.
There we go.
Here we go.
Oh yeah, all the way live.
Here we go.
Get comfortable, man. Get comfortable.
Yeah, I'm comfortable, man. What's going on, man?
I'm doing good, man. How's the family?
Everything good, man. Let me sit down. I'm gonna get comfortable.
Yes, please do. Please do, man. This about to ring out. I like that hat, man.
Thanks, man. Support the hat. Sturdy wear.
Yeah. I like that hat, man. I see what you're doing.
Yeah. What's going on? Do everything good, man?
Everything's good, man. We were just trying to get everything situated. When I first tried to get on, they were saying something about the broadcast ban, the broadband, or some nonsense. So that's why it took me a couple minutes, but they can't stop the shining.
Nah. We going. We going.
We good. So, hey, you ready to get to it?
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah, you right off the bus, putting the sneakers on, ready to go.
Yeah, I'm in the house, man. I'm ready.
So what I'm gonna do a brief introduction of the show, and then I'm gonna throw it back to you. And I just want you to introduce yourself, first and last name, your high school, and your class, and then we're gonna dive into this conversation. Sound good?
Let's do it.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Tapping with Tristan. We got a Facebook Live edition, Long Island basketball history. And this has been a much anticipated episode. So I'm really excited to hear from this gentleman and have a conversation. Please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Sean White, better known as S1. I graduated in 91, and I played Vols from 87 to 91. I got moved up in 87 to
Perfect.
91.
Perfect. Well, listen, man, you got a lot. First of all, we're here to celebrate you. Let's get it. Let's go ahead and put that for the record, man. We're here to celebrate you, man. You're a legend in Hempstead, man, and you held it down for Long Island. So
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
absolutely. Want to make sure that everybody in the chat, man, make sure y'all show some love and throw some hearts in there. share some experiences and some stories. But we're here to celebrate you first and foremost. But as we're celebrating you, man, we want to walk through the peaks and the valleys of this journey.
Yeah,
You feel what I'm saying? And
yeah.
I want you to, you know what I'm saying, give us the real.
All right.
All right?
Is my lighting messing with the thing? Is my lighting in the back messing with it?
I mean, I see you good.
Okay, cool.
I see you good. Wherever you're gonna be, yeah. If you move back that way, no, the other way. Yeah. Now it's out the way.
All right.
Yeah, that's good money right there. Yeah, you good right there.
Okay,
So
let's do it.
we can probably go a lot of different directions, and we can probably have a lot of parts to this thing. So we'll streamline the best we can, man. But we want you to tell your truth, man, while we give you your flowers. So all right, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna create a starting point, and
Hmm.
then from there, man, we're just gonna let the conversation take us and see where we land.
Let's do it.
As a young Sean White, when was the first time that we put the basketball in our hand? How old was we and when what was going on around us?
About 8 years old. I grew up on South Franklin. I was born on top of the Brothers store, basically a drug infested area. And my first coach was Mr. Adams.
Okay,
I made an all-star team. I probably was about 7 or 8 years old.
okay.
Um, so I had to walk from South Franklin to the Salvation Army, which was probably about 2 miles, and I'm doing that at 8 years old.
You're doing that at 8 years old,
Walking from South Franklin to Atlantic Avenue to South to
and, and
practice.
and you said so we got to paint the picture for some people that don't know. You said this is a drug infested area. Am I right?
Oh yeah, South Franklin is drug infested. Yeah,
Okay. Okay. So are you going by yourself, man? Who's with you?
I'm walking by myself.
You walking by yourself?
Yeah.
What's the thought process doing that?
Well, we wasn't supposed to walk down Terrace, so we walk all the way to Atlantic Avenue and make the left. All the
Okay.
way down South Franklin to Atlantic Avenue, then make the left. That's the way we used to take. We wouldn't go down Terrace.
You can't go down terrace.
We wouldn't go down Terrace when we was younger. And
Okay.
just be careful with crossing the street. So that's about it.
That was about it.
Yeah.
So okay, so now you said you was playing that. Where was you playing at?
I was playing. It was Mr. Adams All Stars. Um, I was about 8 years old. So then we only had a couple of tournaments. Went to Philadelphia a couple of times. But then I played for Eric Kelly.
Is
That
this
was
at
called
the is this at the Salvation
this
Army? Is
at
this at the
this
South?
this at the Salvation Army
Okay.
too.
We want to paint the picture, make sure everybody's on
Yeah.
the same page. The South
So
is well known. Am I right?
yeah. Now LaSalle was Don team, but I hadn't met Don yet.
Okay. Okay.
So I was playing with Mr. Adams.
What was this team called?
We used to call it Ted Adams All Stars. We was Mr.
What's it
Adams All
for?
Star team, Mr. Adams
Okay.
All Stars, and
Okay.
then I played for Eric Kelly first, which was called the Little South.
Okay.
After that, I played for Little South, and then I played for Don Ryan at 10
O-
years old. That's
Okay.
when
All right.
Cal Jones was on the team with me.
Okay, so we're gonna kind of walk through this thing, man. So you're going through the neighborhood. Hey, you gotta take the long route because it's getting wild at a certain point. And walk me through this because Hempstead is broken down into many sections. Am I right? You have the likes of like Parkside. You have the Hill.
Parkside Terrace, the
Yup.
Heights,
Yup.
Midway, the
Yup.
Hills.
Yeah.
Um, but we was babies. I was a baby at the time, so
Yes.
I seen a lot. But like we seen prostitution, we seen all that stuff, but it didn't really bother us because that's what we was used to seeing.
Wow.
But when we strayed away too far from home. South Franklin to Terraces, we strayed away a little bit too far from home.
That's too
So I
far.
had to, yeah, we strayed away a little too far. So always was a little nervous walking home, a little scared walking home at that age.
Yeah, you picking up the pace, man. I mean, you little like jog going through.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Got you. So are we a multi-sport guy at this time, man? Early age, man.
Well,
Let's slide into like this middle school. Are we good? Are we, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody got a different story. Was you good when you was young?
well, yes, I was good when I was young. That's why I really didn't have to try out for no teams. Like I played lacrosse. I played
Okay.
lacrosse
Yep.
also.
Okay.
Um, I played football and I played quarterback in football
Okay.
and I played basketball.
Okay.
But I never really had the money to pay for these sports, so they used to come to the house, talk to my mother, Mr. Holders, and they'll let me play.
Okay.
Things like that. But I kind of I didn't want to keep playing lacrosse though. I kind of got tired of lacrosse, but I
Okay.
played it for a couple of years though.
Okay. So then that one fell off. Now you're a two-sport athlete, right?
Now I'm a two-sport athlete.
Let's slide into the middle school, man, because I know growing up in middle school, man, that's when you start hitting a lot more crossroads at which way you're going to start going in middle school, early high school. Let's talk a little bit about those days, man. What's going on in that time?
All right. Well, in the middle school, it was a little different because I was on the side at the time.
Okay.
I was playing on the side at the time. So what people don't know is when you made the side and you went to them tryouts, for some reason we all felt special when we made that team. We all
It's
felt
a big
special.
deal.
It was a big deal. You traveling, you might get taken out of class. You know what I'm saying? It put you on to um, what big time basketball is about at that age. Because
This is this is middle school, S1?
yeah, this is middle school, but I never played middle school. I played for the South.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then I went from after I finished the South, I went to once I got to high school, I started off on JV, then they moved me up to varsity.
This is okay. Okay.
That's ninth grade.
Okay, so what's going on? What's going on in the environment, man? Are we still in this pressure cooker going on, man? Like you're a little bit older, you done seen some of the things, man. What's going on at home? What's going on between, school and everything towards this end of this junior high years?
Well, this is when, in the ninth grade, this is when peer pressure comes. And I hope, and like, I'm telling the story, it's not only about me, it's about, it's history now. So,
Yes.
I'm telling the story because hopefully another youngin won't make the same decisions that I did make, you
I,
know. And it was a lot of peer pressure in Hempstead. It was a lot of peer pressure. And if you have no guidance and you're getting raised by the streets and your friends are the streets, it's kind of hard to it was kind of hard for me. It was hard for me to to move along, even though I was good in sports.
yes.
But I didn't really have the other things that I needed, the other qualities I needed to be somebody great in playing sports.
What was
But the thing is I was great in sports.
okay? What were some of those things that you needed that you lacked?
Um, well, for one, I needed some type of guidance. I did because my guidance was my friends,
Okay.
and those are now at the age I am now, when I look back, the guidance that was my friends. Your friends can't be your guidance. They can't. No matter how much they say, they can't be your guidance. You know, and I had a couple of players talk to me. Like Cal Jones talked to me a lot. He talked to me because we come from the 10th grade. Cal Jones got in my ass a couple of times.
Right.
And
So
because we was a championship caliber team,
okay.
and
So
I had to take that.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
had to take that.
Yeah, some accountability. So you have some peer-to-peer accountability. Now, most of your guys, because being that Hempstead is broken into sections, but it's
Mhm.
also big. But there's only so many people that can make a team. Where this is where it starts getting wild. You got some of the guys that might have the talent, but or they didn't have the grades or what have you. They didn't have enough talent, so they didn't make the team. Are they going to the streets? And how is that interfering with what you trying to move along with?
Well, it's like this, and it's like my best friend could at that time could have been on playing on the side with me,
Okay.
or could have been walking to intramurals on a Saturday morning. But once we get to high school, some it's a different atmosphere, especially playing with Hempstead. Some people wasn't. I'm not gonna say. Yeah, I'm gonna use the word built. Some people wasn't built for the
Stage.
lights, and Hempstead was
It
the lights.
was
We
the
when you we coming from the South
yeah.
to a winning program that's expecting you to win.
So who were some of the names, you know what I mean? Who were some of the names that came before you that paved the way? Because
Um,
Hempstead is booming in both football and basketball at this time. Am I right?
yeah. So one thing about me, like I always pay homage to the people that came before me, because one thing about me, I was always a water boy, and being on the South, I always was at the games. You know what I'm saying? One name I'm gonna say, the first name I'm gonna say is Kelvin Lee.
Okay.
That was somebody that I looked up to.
Okay.
Um, that whole, I don't know if it was '85 team with Gator and Chris Miller and Rob
Somebody help us
Moore.
out in the chat. Somebody help us in the chat.
Gator, Chris Moore, no, Gator, Rob Moore, Chris
Yeah.
Miller.
Yup.
Showtime, Warren Stiff, the point guard.
Showtime.
Showtime, Rob Smith. You know, we young watching that. Now,
Mhm.
I never dreamed of, and never even thought, looking back, that I was going to be a part of it the way things end up being.
Okay.
You know, and all mine started in the 10th grade. Now, oh, and hold on. I'm gonna give Lamont Hugh. I definitely gotta always big him up because I backed him up. I backed him up in football, and he was the Thorpe Award winner.
Yeah.
So I'm getting grade A treatment. Like I'm getting everything I need. But it was something else that I needed.
What was that?
Like
What was that
I
extra?
kind of needed, looking at it now,
Yeah, looking at it now as a grown man.
I needed to be told no,
Ah, okay.
because the being told yeah, it hurt me, because when I got out of high school, once I got to college, I needed help, and it was nobody around, not nobody.
Okay, okay. Let's put a pin in that part. But yeah, I see where you're going. I see where you're going, and we're going to attack that topic as we walk through a little bit more of this high school. Now, let's cross over into you was playing the South, you was traveling, you're navigating this neighborhood and everything like that. You're a big deal, right?
Mhm.
There be people like, hey, we'll pay for you to come play for us, man. Let's help this guy move along. Ninth grade, right? You was on varsity or was you on JV at this time?
I was at JV. I was on JV football and basketball. Half the season, they moved me up to varsity.
What was
I don't
that?
know why. I don't know why they do these things. They move you up to varsity. It's cool though. I learned a lot. They move you up just to sit you on the bench.
How'd you feel about that?
Well, I remember being in the ninth grade and we playing against Tom Gugliotta
That's a big
at,
name.
at Nassau Community College, and
Yeah.
he put me in for 30 seconds. I was saying, now we was taught team, like that's a team player. Okay, yeah, that's a team player. That's a team player. But to me, like I feel, looking back at things now at my age, of course, when I was young and he called me to get in, I'm running in. But when I look back, I laugh at it like, damn, I would never put nobody in with 20 seconds.
Right.
Like, just think about it. Sometimes that can mess a kid up mentally too. You put a man in with 20 seconds to go, he ain't got in all game.
Yeah, for many reasons, because it's sometimes not even, it won't even be you. It can be the support system. You got a lot of peers. They're gonna be like, bro, you're a walk on. They start talking
Yeah,
to you crazy. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
that could go left. That can definitely go left. So sounds like looking back, you're like, yo, just let me rock on JV, or if you're just gonna pull me up, just let me get the
Now,
DMP and the
don't
experience.
get me wrong though. I was happy that they did pull me up. This
Yeah,
is
because
me
now you're with the
talking.
big dogs.
Yeah, this is me talking today.
Yes, we're talking today. In in
Of,
in, in the moment, it's different. Absolutely.
yeah, but
Yeah.
at that time, I'm happy as all outdoors. Just like one time, I remember Cal Jones getting in getting on me because we had a big game against the Lyson brothers, and the lady told me, no, you can't play. You can't play.
What year is
You
this?
missed
What
class.
what
I
year is
think
this?
this was when I was a junior.
Okay, let's rewind. In that ninth grade game where they put you against Gugliotta, was y'all winning or losing?
Oh, the game was over. We done won already.
Okay, so he might have wanted you just to get in the books Let's get.
No, it wasn't even book time. It was like 20 seconds. Like
They
nothing.
round that up. They round that up. You in the books now. They
Yeah,
round that up to a one. So maybe just saying I clap out for one of the big dogs, and you get in there and get a little cheer for you.
yeah,
Maybe that was
yeah.
the case.
I mean,
Maybe
it
that
was.
was the
I
case.
was. I was a Tiger, so I appreciated it because I was the same way in football too. I was on the sideline, cold as hell on at Hofstra. They getting. I'm talking about freezing, like feet
Giving
cold as
play
hell.
calls, holding the clipboard, and all.
Yeah, yeah.
So 10th grade. Let's talk about the 10th grade. Now you're are you still in the mix now? Now y'all in the championship area
Now,
right now. Who's on this team, man?
my 10th grade year, that's the best team I ever had. We had two 7-footers.
Talk.
Well, six. We had Ice Tim. He was 6'9", 6'10". We
Yeah.
had Anthony Washington. He was a 7-footer. We had Cal Jones. He was 6'6". We had Damon Brown. He was 6'6". We had Vincent Farmer. He was 6'6".
See, I got
We
full
had
college
Andre. He was 6'6". We had a bunch of 6'6", 6'7" dudes.
college team.
That's that's the year we lost to Christ the King in the Federation.
So y'all won public school that year though.
Yeah, that's the year. That's the first year we won.
What's your
Uh,
role? What's your role in 10th grade?
my 10th grade year, it was kind of crazy because I
Talk to
got a role. We beat Long Beach at home, and I hit back-to-back threes to win the game.
me. You did?
The first three came around to me. I hit it, tied it up. The second I hit it, we won the game. And I'll never forget running down the court. It was packed at Hempstead High School.
Ah,
And Lenny Hughes said, "Now your name S1."
now you're in
And
S1.
it went from there.
That was it right there. That was the moment.
It went. And I remember being in Canada a couple of times, and Mr. Adams calling the timeout just to tell me I'm a super sophomore because, I'm playing with Cal Jones and Lenny and Lamont. These dudes was you had to be tough to play with these dudes.
I can imagine. You from
I
him?
mean, when I mean tough, like if you're not tough, you're gonna get tough because you might have to fight for real when you get outside.
Yeah, yeah. Let's
Yeah,
let's talk let's talk about that part, and then I'm gonna touch upon another topic.
yeah,
What's the vibe amongst you guys? Like you just talked about it. Now, at that time, we didn't hit this topic much. We talked about it being different sections, right? You already kind of broke that down. Now,
yeah.
was there harmony amongst those sections, or was there turmoil? Was you guys at each other's neck?
It was crazy because I was a ball player,
Yeah, but we talking about just
but
general public, that area versus that area. Was it love? Both
no,
of them?
it was always turmoil.
Okay.
But the athletes
Yes.
got along.
The athletes got along. Okay. So
But the athletes,
did y'all bring the community together?
you know what?
Talk to me.
You know what? To be honest with you, we
Yeah, be honest.
did because that 10 year stretch of winning, it was sort of like a culture. Like
Yeah.
Hempstead was just winning, and everything was fun.
Yeah.
But it always was drama with the surrounding towns, the surrounding neighborhoods.
The
It was
street guys?
always it was always like some
Yeah.
type of drama. It was
Yeah.
it was that was always,
Got
and
you.
yeah, that was always, man.
So when you guys, because I would imagine that not everybody on the basketball and football team is coming from the same area. You got them coming from these 5 to 7 different sections.
Yeah.
When y'all came together, was it love or was it friction? You know what I'm saying? Y'all just figured it because y'all was doing numbers on both the football field and the basketball court.
You know what
What was the
though?
personalities that you dealing? You said we got to fight. Were these guys trying to fight each other? Was dudes
Hey,
bullying each other?
it's crazy that you say that because when I was in the 10th grade, I just finished playing football with dudes, and then I get around the way with my Parkside dudes, and damn near about to fight my football dudes. And
That's
not,
what I'm saying.
yeah, it did get like that one time. I didn't even understand it.
Yeah, yo, how do you process that? Because you're like squarely in the crossfire. You're like, yo, we shared a locker room together, we shared a field together, practice.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
I might have to hook off. You know what I'm saying?
it was things like that, man. It was things like that that built this character in me.
Okay.
And sometimes when you get a character built, at 13, 14 years old, that character can carry you for another 10 years. And sometimes it can mess you up. It can mess you up because the way you think, your way of thinking is distorted because of what the things we went through, the trauma, the drama.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're trying to concentrate on one thing, but you really can't. You're trying to concentrate on school, but you really can't. You got too much going on. And you 14, you're a kid.
Yeah, you're a kid.
You're a
Yeah.
kid, you know?
Who helped you process that? Who helped you process that?
Nobody.
Okay.
To this day, nobody. I remember, I don't remember if Cal Jones remember, but we used to all drive on a van. Don used to drop us off. And I used to get dropped off at home on South Franklin.
Okay.
And, get laughed at, snapped. They laugh, Castle Gray Skull. They laughing at me. I'm young then. It hurted, you
Yeah,
know?
that hurt you.
And I had to get tough
You had to get
because
tough.
I was forced to get tough,
Yeah.
you
Because
know?
you had the money. You didn't have the money, so you didn't have it. You probably didn't have the gear like you wanted to. It wasn't.
No, I had basketball gear. When they give out the sneakers, I get a pair. That's my shoes for the year.
That's your shoes right there.
I hope I get.
You were sponsored
Yeah.
by Hempstead.
Oh my God. So say that one more time. So,
I said you was pretty much sponsored by Hempstead.
if that's
That was all your get fresh with Hempstead Apparel.
not, yo, for real, man.
Yeah.
That's a real statement, man.
And you in a spot where it's a fashion show on at the game. Am I right?
It's a fashion show in Hempstead. Hempstead was a straight fashion show, and it was times, man. Like I never shared these stories with nobody, but it was times, man, when I just had 40 points, and I don't even want to come out the locker room because I ain't got
You don't got the outfit on.
yo and for real, like
Oh
that.
man, I can understand that, bro. So how'd that make you feel, man? Are you battling like self-esteem
I
issues?
did, I did. I was kind of shy,
Wow. Okay.
had low self-esteem.
Wow.
But I didn't have that on the basketball court. When I was on the court, that was my place. That's when I was somebody else.
Okay.
But when I get off the court, I'm somebody else.
Right.
You get
Right.
what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
when I was on that court, everything was, I had showmanship. It was cool, man. It was fun. But when I got off the court, that's when everything started. All the problems started. And sometimes it could be a downward spiral from when you young and no matter what, even when I was in college, you still couldn't catch up. I'm trying to catch up from stuff from 14 still. I'm in
Yeah.
college.
Yeah. That joint just kind of overtook you. Now tell me, man, you still got friends? I know not everybody made that basketball team that was younger. They're in the streets. Like you're starting to slide into this crack era, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Now, was there a pull for that, man? Did you end up doing some dabbling in the streets, or you stayed pretty much on the basketball court, man? How did that happen work out for you?
And and I'm glad you touched on that because I don't mind being truthful. I'm
I want
50
you
years
to.
old and I want to be truthful so the little kids can know. The young kids, if you got a basketball talent, it goes so fast. The next thing you know, it's over. You know what I'm saying? So dibble and dabble. I mean, that was like so easy because
That's so easy.
it was so easy because I had nothing.
Yeah,
So my friends got this got this. Like I didn't have that support system to pull me in and say, no, you coming with me.
yeah,
Like you're not doing that because somebody can talk to you.
yeah,
Like, and this is no way me blaming. This is just me reflecting.
yes,
Somebody can talk to you, but you need real support, not no support. Somebody telling you what to do because they don't know what's going on in your house.
facts. So what was
They
going on
don't.
in your house, real quick, man? What's
I
going on?
mean,
Is there any male figures going around, man? Give us a little glimpse into that, and then we'll move forward.
nah, we really didn't have no male figures. You know what I'm
No
saying?
male figures.
I'm the oldest of five, man. Mom Duke's always at work, so I got cousins. I
Yep,
got cousins,
yep.
uncles. I'm around drugs. I'm just around all of that.
All of that, and you just gotta
So
navigate through that.
navigate through that. But I'm at practice with everybody. But I'm at practice,
Yeah.
but people know. Like
People know.
people know when I get dropped off at home, And until I start taking up for myself, I get slapped on. People know. Until I started getting on some other stuff,
What year was that?
I mean, I probably was this one the whole time. Not the whole time. My first year on the South, not my second year. My first year, and all the way to the ninth grade.
Yeah,
All the way to the ninth grade, and
yeah,
then I had to, when I got to the 10th grade, I guess, I
yeah.
had to, I had to switch it up, man. I had to switch it up, and that kind of like took me for a whirlwind to now I turned into somebody else.
So let me ask you, once you hit those shots right there, was there almost a level of acceptance inside of the Hempstead basketball world that wasn't there? And then did that kind of change the perception of you and then also give you a bit more confidence to walk around outside off the basketball court?
Um, I always had confidence on the court. It made me be more accepted by
There you go.
like it made me be more accepted by like dudes like Lenny and Lamont,
Yeah.
because these was the guys that was over me.
How many grades ahead are those guys? Because they
They
ring out.
was in the 12th, I was in the 10th.
They're 2 years ahead of you right now, but they holding it down in the neighborhood. They're big names right now.
Yeah,
So they're big names and everything like that. So you almost felt like you had to get some acceptance from them. Is that fair to say?
accepted from yeah. When you playing on a championship caliber team, when in 3 years you probably only lost 4 games,
Yeah.
it's gonna be that type of. It's gonna be that type. Like
Yep.
it was no nonsense. And the year we won it back to back, we won it with that same team we had in the 10th grade. Most of us came back in 11th grade and we won it again.
Yep. Yep. Okay.
You know,
Okay.
because we practiced. Our five used to practice against that first five, and it was just like that.
Okay. All right. So listen, man, we're gonna touch on the topic with some of the names that I'm hearing from my research and conversations
Mhm.
about who's kind of the pillars of the community, right? We'll start with just main two names, and I just want you to just kind of give me a summary of your experience with them. The
Okay.
first I'm hearing about holding down Hempstead, especially with the basketball program, is a gentleman by the name of Don Ryan.
Yeah.
What's your experience with Don Ryan?
Now Don Ryan, I met Don Ryan when I was like 9 years old. Don Ryan was like the Dick Vitale of the hood. Like if Don Ryan came and seen that you can ball or that you could play, little kids is getting excited. You want to play for Don Ryan, you get to get taken out of school, you get to go on trips,
Right.
you get the uniforms, you get everything different from what all the other 100 kids that tried out get.
Okay. Okay.
So you felt special,
Okay.
and you was going to at that age, you playing for national championships. I think me and Cal Jones won a national buddy championship in West Virginia.
Okay.
And we playing for nationals, like in biddy basketball, we playing in New Orleans, West Virginia, Puerto Rico. We going all over.
That's a big deal for
And
somebody coming from Hempstead.
this was before AAU.
Are you recognize how big a deal this is, or you just like, yo, I get to leave school early? That's it. That's a lot to wrap your brain around at that age, especially dealing with the pressure cookie. Or you just like, yo, I get to step out of my environment for a couple of days.
To be honest with you,
Yeah, be honest with me.
hearing you say it like that, it kind of like, because it can't spoil you. And a person like, let's just say if you're in a household, if you don't have both your parents there,
Yes.
and you're not really taking what's going on, you're not really taking heed to what's real, you can't really fathom what's going on. You don't really understand what's happening right now.
Yeah.
So there you go. You'll sit there and you can kind of get spoiled over this whole thing.
Okay.
Some people get big heads. Did I get a big head? I didn't. No.
In a way, you did. That's a long.
Yeah.
That's a long
When I
pause.
think
That's a
about
long
it, when I
pause right
think about it,
there.
I gotta say, I gotta be honest and say, it's hard for me to say yeah because I was a shy dude. I was a laid back dude.
Yeah,
So
you got
now,
this duality going, man. On the court, I'm a killer, and then off the court, man, I don't got the gear, so I'm trying to tuck off.
exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know if I had a big head because I was like too laid back. I didn't really like the spotlight.
I don't want the spotlight. You can keep the spotlight on the court, but off the court, man, just let me be.
Yeah, that's how it was.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, this next thing right here, man. This is the guy. I want to say he's a Hall of Fame guy. We're going with Mr. A, Coach Adams, man. What's
Now,
going
Mr.
on with your experience with him going through the ranks?
All right, now, Mr. Adams, I wanna touch on something that I said in the last interview, one of the interviews that I said, Jay, like, and I want to be clear when I say this, like no kids can get nothing out of what I'm talking about if I don't be straight up. You know, it's I got like if I'm one of the good players on that team, but we don't know this at the time. This is me looking back. Like I say, if a person, I'm just gonna spit this out there.
Okay.
If a person averaged almost 27 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, and 5 steals,
Okay.
you ain't gonna try to go. I'm going to his house and see what's going on. He need extra attention. We got to get this guy out of here. We got to do whatever we got to do. You see how they got Allen Iverson out of jail when he got in this trouble?
Yeah.
Well, you know, anytime I ever talk about this, I always get like this because I never talked to nobody again. When I lost that last game, I never talked to this man again. And this a man, like I said, I played for since I was young. When I got out of high school, every decision that I made in life, I had to figure it out on my own. Like even after school, when I got out of high school, like that was the most embarrassing thing ever. Sean White ain't go nowhere.
All right. Let's bring it back because that's there's a tie-in for the Hempstead program that I would like to bring to the light and have your input.
Mhm.
Through high school, what was the relationship with him on court and in practice? And then we'll go to like post career. What was he a good X and O guy? Was he putting you in a good position, man? Was he checking on you outside of the school, or just when you crossed over into that, then it
It's
was
just
over?
basketball, man.
Just basketball. Okay.
It's just basketball, and it was
Okay.
just, I got it. Like it was just basketball, and it was just you win the games, man. Like I
Yeah.
say, man, nobody never talked to me about college, man. The
Okay.
closest person talked to me about college, and this is what I didn't understand. We used to get letters come to Don Ryan office. I'm
Okay.
getting recruited by every school in the damn country, damn near.
So Don Ryan works in. He's in the school with you
You
guys.
know, to this day, I never know how the letters was coming to Don office, but I know you go to Don office, you get your mail. I had a locker full of mail.
They
Um,
wasn't sending it to the house. They would send it to you. I mean,
they
they
were
were
sending
sending
them
it
to the school.
to the school. Okay, and then he'll divvy it out.
Yeah, you go to his office, he'll give you your mail.
Okay. All right. So this is fascinating here, man, because we pretty much left it at the junior year. I mean, 10th grade year, right?
Okay.
You just won a title, right? Y'all won a title when you was in 10th grade. And
Yes,
then
we won the title that year.
y'all lost to Christ the King. Was that your 10th grade year?
Yep.
Okay. So junior year too, y'all ran it back.
Yeah, we won it in my junior year too.
Who we beat that time? What's the role there? What's junior
My
year look
junior
like?
year we beat Mount Vernon.
That's a big win.
Now
That's a big
we
win,
beat.
man.
Hey, let me tell you something.
Those are two titans right there, Hempstead and Mount.
I didn't know that I had such a good game when we was in Glen Falls. I really didn't know until I read the article that
Okay.
they put up on Cal Jones, and it said I had 23 points, 9 assists. No, 23 points, 9 rebounds, 10 assists, 5 3-pointers, and no turnovers.
That's a historic night. That's my wait. You had 10 assists?
I had 23 points,
Now,
10 assists,
you had 10 assists?
10 assists,
We got to mark that down, man.
nine
I know.
rebounds.
Yeah.
Hey, I used to pass the ball when Cal was on the team.
Okay.
So yeah, look, and I made all tournament with Cal that game,
That's
and not
big.
even knowing. I just really looked at the article that I seen that they put up on Cal, and I read it, and I said, "Wow, dude, that was a good game I had." I didn't even know I had a game like that. I
You
just know
just
I
hoop,
made all tournament.
you just out there hooping.
and I just was balling, man. Like it's like we never walking home from practice. We always Hempstead. We always talk about Glen Falls. We never considered we gonna lose. We
Y'all,
just be like,
yeah, yeah. The island was food.
the island was food. You
Food. Yeah, we already on the
know?
Glen Falls.
We already going to Glen Falls. We already got the. So it was a shock to me my senior year when I lost that game to go to Glen Falls.
Okay.
But when I look back at it, and I look at no disrespect to my teammates, but that team right there, my senior year, it wasn't the same team that I had the previous 3 years.
So you feel like some of the talent dropped off, or was these guys
No,
young,
the
up and
talent.
coming? There was younger guys.
There was younger guys, and I was
Yeah.
the only one with the experience.
Yeah. So they didn't have the same experience. Okay.
Yeah. So with that being said, if I'm the only one to, like I say, man, you know, in 2025, in today's world, they got the internet and they got all this stuff, so you able to reflect even more.
Yes.
And when I look back and I say, how you average, how you average numbers like that? Got 2 state championships,
Right.
and you go to Farmingdale.
Okay. Let's put a pin in that. Okay. So let's go back through this high school career, right? Because you mentioned Farmingdale, right? Just through my research and everything. How's the grades, dude? What's going on? How's the
Now,
grade? Are we? Because you say you don't really have the guidance to show you. Who's helping you with your grades, and then we'll talk about what's going on with the grades. Are we doing good or no?
who's helping with my grades? Nope.
Yes.
All right. I graduated at 17
Yes.
with no grades.
No grades.
No grades. No
So
grades. And I never knew none of this until I was in federal prison, and I
okay.
called home to ask for my transcript. And I couldn't believe I had 60s and 50s for 4 years.
So, wait. All right. All right. All right. All right. Let me reposition myself. So pretty much your whole high school career, you was in the 50s and 60s.
That's what it showed me on that transcript.
Okay, so there's a level of accountability that you have to take, of course, right?
Of course,
Right.
I take all the accountability.
Okay, you take the accountability. What is the because from me looking from a bird's eye view from another school, but also more of a black neighborhood, especially with the basketball program. We know that there's talent there. We know that Hempstead has a lot of talent. We also know, especially now, but and the one of the things is trying to get as far as you can get, which is usually NBA.
Yeah.
That's what you're looking for. But you got to pass through college. But in order to get to college, that you have to have that key from the academic portion, your student athlete, whether you like it or not.
Okay.
Who's talking about that in Hempstead? Because I'm seeing a lot of guys that are crossing over from high school to college that either have to go the prep route, the JUCO route, the Prop 48 route because of the lack of the SAT or the GPA, and now they got to double up and everything. Like that's really hard to do. Am I right? If you ain't really been having those conversations in high school, it's really hard to try to do that without really having that same structure. You on your own. Who's talking about that, and what was the system at Hempstead as far as
Okay.
academics?
Now I hope it's some young people on here looking, so that's in school, so they won't make this mistake. Like you got to take care of your grades first. You got to take care of your schooling first. When I got to college, of course I was gonna go to college because I got to go somewhere. But I
Yeah.
didn't know nothing about the recruiting thing. I didn't know nothing about nothing.
So there
Like,
was no. So it was a big void in there, right there. Are y'all doing study hall? Is anybody Are they bringing the transcripts out, like the progress report? Any of those type of things? Is that going on in Hempstead, or y'all just hooping?
hey man, nobody
Yeah.
talked to nobody nobody talked to me about nothing.
Nobody. How does that make you feel?
All right,
How does that make you
but what I'm gonna say is this.
talk to
You
me?
know, when I was making them decisions back then, I thought, of course, you couldn't tell me I couldn't play. I would have wanted to play, but what I needed was somebody to snatch me up and say, no, you gotta. By the time Mr. Renfro tried to do it, it was too late.
It was too late.
Like my senior year, you get to my senior year yet?
Go ahead, talk about it.
My senior year, Mr. Renfro came. Stanford was recruiting me. He said they can't. They wrote a letter saying they can't continue to recruit me because of my grades. And I never knew none of this. And Mr. Renfro showed me what I needed to graduate, man. I needed all kind of stuff, man. I don't even know how I was even playing, man. Like, and I hate to say it, but I gotta say it. This is, and if nobody's talking to you at all, nobody's talking at all. When I went to college, nobody's still not talking to me. I picked the hardest classes I could possibly find. And I got a 0. I tried to cheat on the test because my school, I wasn't ready.
You're not ready for this.
I left school, didn't even know that I had to drop my class. I had a 0.5 GPA. Tom Pecora was my coach.
He coached at Hofstra later on.
Me and Tim Wooden was there. Boom. And Gary Charles came up to Hempstead High School.
How was you able to get into Farmingdale with that? They were just they kind of, because you had 60s and 50s.
Man, I don't know.
You don't even know. Something worked out for you.
Something worked out for me.
You're used to that. You're used to that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're used to just continue to move along with not having the full answers. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
And then when it was time for you to have some more complete answers, and then also have some more structure, you was like, I don't know what to do.
I had to learn by failing.
That's valid.
So then when I got to California, on my second time around.
What's this California thing? How we get to California? I interrupted. You said something about Gee. Talk to me.
Well, Gee, I was playing with Mike James and him, and I had a great game.
Okay, thank you for that, Chris Mooney. He said that Farmingdale was a JUCO at the time. Okay.
Farmingdale was a JUCO at the time.
Okay, yeah. Okay, thank you for that.
So I messed up there, and then I ended up going to Riverside, California. Now I went to Riverside, California because they was recruiting Paul Culberson and Ed Posey.
Shout out to Culberson. Culberson's from Roosevelt. He was cooking out there. And then you said Ed Posey?
Yeah, Ed Posey and Gary Wooden. Now, when they got me out there, sure, I had a great game as a team. Mike James was my point guard. I think I had like 8 threes. And all the scouts talked to me, the assistant coach for UNLV, Coach Shoes, and he was like, yo, listen, man, you play 2 years here, you go there. But nobody's telling me, through the whole basketball thing, like nobody told me nothing until it was over. I went to California and played better than I ever played.
Okay.
I scored 1,100 in 2 years. We lost in the Final Four. They said I was the sleeper in the country. They was doing an article on me, but basketball is a business, man.
Yes, it is.
Nobody was going down for me.
Nah, people gonna protect themselves.
I went to Farmingdale first. Yes. When they sent me to California, they sent me as an in-state student, changed one number in my social security number, said I was from San Bernardino and paid for me because I think it was like $15 a credit or something. So it was easy to pay for me to go to school. And me just play ball. But now they didn't understand that. They didn't know that I was as good as I was a gift.
Yeah. Wow.
So my sophomore year, I really thought I was coming back home with the hat on. I'm going to St. John's. I'm going somewhere. In the first 8 games, in 6 of them, I had over 30.
He was cooking.
Yeah.
So, what was your style of what was your strengths out there? I'm hearing you shoot the ball and everything like that, man.
Tough, man. Like what Lover, like what Lamont and Lenny taught me.
Yeah.
When I got to California.
Yeah.
And I had a chip on my shoulder from Farmingdale. So when I got there, I was just tough. Like tough,
hey,
man.
People in the chat, man, that know him, man. What's a player that I'm hearing a John Starks type of a player, man. Somebody that ain't gun shy out here, letting the gun go super tough. John Starks, is that valid? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Talk to me in the chat. Yeah, man. Keep it going, S1.
Paul Culberson, that was my we lived together.
Okay.
And he was 6'6", 6'7". And
Older
I'm
than
watching, watch this, I'm watching limousines. I'm watching limousines. This was my first time. Paul Coberson is somebody that know all of this. Me and him talked a lot.
right,
And I said, dang, I said, yo, why I'm not getting no mail? I just had 38 last night. I'm
right.
dropping numbers like that. Like I'm wondering what's going on. I'm not nobody's messing. The limousines is coming up to see Paul, USC coming to see my whole team went D1. I ain't go nowhere. But I was the second leading scorer on the team. Like, and I just it was all it was five, it was from 14. I'm not going to count the Sal. From the ninth grade to college, my basketball thing was I did everything that I was supposed to do on the court. That's what's crazy. I did everything I was supposed to do on the court.
All right, so let me get a recap. So we go through ninth grade, we go through high school, and you had a heck of a career. Finished all Long Island, right? And put your team back in a position with a younger team. I seen the stat line. It looked that team stat line looked like Allen Iverson and his team, right? He was averaging like 27, and the next person was like 9. So it was like, yo, get my man on the ball, set a screen, and let's go to work. So okay, I see Dale Ellis. I like the Starks. That feels like it's right. But Dale Ellis is he can shoot. But then you're like, all right, man, I'm segueing to this college, but you had no idea what that even looked like because you had no guidance in the recruitment. It felt kind of splintered off. Then you got thrusted in to post graduation, and you end up at Farmingdale, and you're like, yo, you have to do some schoolwork here. You're like, I don't even know how to set up a class, so you're taking astro.
Chemistry. I had chemistry. I picked all these hard classes. I'm standing online to pick these classes. Pecora, nobody was there. I'm like, what's going on?
What's
Yo, I
going on?
had
I don't even know how to pick a class, so I'm picking the hard classes because it sounds good. And you got a .5, you cheating. They're like, you got to leave.
they
So
quit.
then,
Yeah.
then you back in you walking with shame and guilt and all of this baggage that like, yo, what am I gonna do now? You hooping with guys at Centennial. Guy has a connection. They send you out to California under the alias, and
Under my name, no.
yeah,
It
it's
wasn't my
only the
name.
name, but your social security number is different.
Just
By
one
one,
number, one number,
but
one
that's
number.
enough. That's enough to where it's not even matching up. So they're like, you're not even getting any recruitment.
A coach pulled up to me and Elliot Posey one time and said, "Hey Sean, what year you graduated?" He said, "What year you graduated?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "All these schools here, all these Pac-10 schools here to see you, but your coach said you don't got no grades." My coach that I'm playing for right now. So now it's the beginning of the year. It's
Okay.
like December. So I'm playing through the whole year, wondering what that D1 coach pulled up to me, seen me walking and said to me.
Was your grades good in California?
I had a 2.6 GPA in California.
Okay, so you was
And that,
doing the thing. You was a student athlete.
from failing, I knew how to. I
Yeah,
knew how to.
I got I got
I was.
I got
I, yeah, I was working hard. I knew that was my second chance.
But you
So,
had, but prior to this time in California, you had going to prison, or,
um,
or was that after
no, I did go to prison. I went to prison for 4 months. And
4 months?
when I came home, I was playing for Gary Charles. Gary Charles put me on his AAU team.
There you go. There you
He
go.
had
So now what happened with the California? You seen all your guys going to different things, man. What happened then? And then we're gonna talk about the grown man
yeah.
S1.
So when I mean that kind of hurt it because I did good out there, and I thought that I was in the right spot, right position, and it just didn't work out like that. And you know, seeing all my, I wanted to congratulate them and be happy. You know, I went all the way across the town, across the country and I had a 1 year old. So
Okay.
I didn't go out there to play games.
Yeah, this
So
is
when they wanted to send me to some Division II school in Oakland, but I felt like I had put enough work in. I should have went to a Division I school, like in once I didn't, it kind of like now I'm really somebody else.
Right.
Cause remember, I'm making all these choices and decisions on my own. I still don't have no guidance.
Let me ask you, S1, was there a lot of pain that you just kind of masked over inside for lack of help, or you didn't recognize it till you got older? But in reflection, was you hiding and masking a lot of pain and kind of getting it off your chest, so to speak, through sports? And then when that wasn't kind of working out for you, man, you're like, where do I turn?
Um, I'm gonna say the pain came later on in life.
Okay, I feel like that's
Pain,
valid.
pain
So
came later on. Pain
what was
came
some
later
of
on in
the
life.
what was
I
some of the
remember.
what was some of the feelings going through this and trying to see this? Is there anger? Are like, you know what I'm saying? Are you ready to do, you know what I'm saying, flatline somebody for like, yo, how'd y'all let me get to this point, man? Somebody should have told me. Like, be honest with me, man, because I could see a lot of different emotions coming up.
Yeah. Um. Somebody. It was kind of like, yeah. I was a little bitter
Okay.
because
Yeah,
I
I think
seen
that's
people. I see because like I talked to the East Stars and the other people that came after me, and I always had words of encouragement for them because I knew what I went through. You know, and this basketball walk, this walk of life, but especially with playing basketball at a young age, you need some support. You need somebody. It's no way. I tried to do it by myself. That's like having a lawyer that's like going to prison and taking the case by yourself.
I think
That's what I went on with life with.
I,
I tried to do everything on my own. And you just can't win. You cannot win in the game like that because it's a business. And when I got to California, I let them do whatever to me. And we even went to the final. We was 36-5.
yeah,
Like I supposed to win somewhere. Like I did work in high school. I left the third on the all-time scoring list when I finished,
yeah,
and then went to California and scored 1,100 in
yeah.
2 years.
So where did we end up going?
Down went to the streets.
You went back to the street. So it was almost just like it was just going out there and you was almost just hooping for recreation, but you was going there as a business trip.
I was going there thinking that I'm going Division 1.
Yeah, and you putting in the pain and you doing your schoolwork and the numbers is there and it was just like all for what? Now you're like,
It,
so
it
now, you're like, now what is this? So now you go back to the streets. How old are you now?
23.
Talk to me about that.
23. So when I get back, I'm more. When I get back,
Uh, don't worry about it, man. We know how it is.
all right, I had to
Don't worry
find a
about it.
room. I had to
Yeah,
find
yeah,
a room.
we know how it is. We
All
we
right,
all, we all family, man.
yeah. So answer that question again. I'm sorry, man.
What did I say? I said after we're done, you said you was 20, 23, 24.
Yeah. So I
You
was
went back.
23. I was 23, and it felt crazy because when I came back, you know, when you're a ball player, and let's say quote unquote, I'm gonna use the word, when you're a top ball player, like, and maybe I don't know if other ball players in the chat that they can see this, but when you could be an Antoine Moore, Cal Jones, if you beat these people and you win a state championship, and then the next year you come into a Hempstead High School game, that don't feel good because people asking, they want to know where did you go, where you at, this and that, and that brought a void to me, and it made me back away because I was embarrassed.
Yep.
You just had a year like that, averaging 20, damn near 27, 11, 5-5, and you don't go, and you around the way. So, yeah, it was kind of pressed. So when I got the chance to go to California, I had a chip on my shoulder. So when it happened again,
Yeah.
now, mm,
Yeah.
now I just now I was somewhere else with it.
Where we go?
The prison, the
Yeah.
prison. Like I came home and you got to remember this, man. As a kid, we play sports, man. So we don't have no work ethic. We don't work. We play sports. We win in championships. We play when you're an athlete that play sports all year round.
Yeah.
So you coming from a family that don't have anything.
Right.
You playing sports here all year round, so you don't got no job.
Yes.
How you gonna survive? I'm in survival mode at 14.
You've been in survival mode for a very long time, my guy.
For a very long time, survival mode at 14.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I kind of so basketball was serious to me, man. And I told the coach that in California, I said, look, man,
Yeah.
it's either this or the streets. I
Either
said,
or.
listen, man. I told him when I was in California, I said, I'm out here I'm a player. Like you remember Anthony Carter?
Of course.
Me
Yeah.
and him went at it. Me and him went at it. I had 30 on him, but me and him went at it. And just the same thing. I think I was untouched. Like nobody couldn't touch me. People was asking about me, but they was like, don't touch him.
Yeah.
Because it's a business and you tainted goods now. Like if I had any type of guidance, they would have said, no, listen, you got to take those classes over at Farmingdale that you took. So you could get there, you'll be a freshman all over again. Don't let them just do that. But me, I'm letting people do whatever because I don't know, no guidance.
Yeah, and
So
you thinking that your production on the court is going to be enough to override the
yeah,
stuff that you don't.
it was no, it was no, it was no more Don Ryan. It was no more Teddy Adams.
So did they help you with the academic part? Did they give you? Did they say, hey, listen, man, we got to reach out to somebody at the house, like, bro, like this ain't gonna cut it. To anybody in the program because I'm seeing like there's a laundry list of names of talent to come through Hempstead from 1980 all the way to probably 2005 plus, but really that 25 year stretch. I'm seeing a lot of guys having to go the route because of the grades. Who you? I know you didn't have the family members, but is there any secondary support, whether it be some type of structure through Don Ryan and Ted Adams, where you had guys looking at that because it's a very integral part for you to move forward? Was that established or no,
Nah.
it wasn't?
All right, I'm gonna give you an example.
Yeah, give me an example.
I
Wow.
think his name's Officer Bottoms. I seen him what he did for Eastar. Eastar was able to continue on, and we come from the same neighborhood and go to Arkansas.
Yeah,
Because when you get somebody to put hands on your back and say, "Come on, man, this ain't the way to go."
yeah.
Now, I'm pretty sure people like, but you know that ain't the way to go. Nah, you don't know. You don't know what I'm surviving from. You don't know what the struggle is.
So what's the struggle in the mid 20s now, man? You know what I'm saying? Like
So the
you're looking
struggle in the
at,
mid.
yeah, you're looking at, man. Are you looking at my career is done? Did you accept that, or did you like I could give it one last hurrah?
I try one last go around.
Talk to
So I
me.
go out to Virginia. I'm living in
It's
Virginia.
hard to leave it alone. I know you have one last hurrah in there.
So I go to Virginia. I'm about to play for Virginia State. And the coach loved me there. I got my point guard, Rick Height, to send me a reel. I got him the video. He said, we love you, but we don't have any more money. Now remember, I got 2 years of eligibility left.
Yeah, you kind of use these joints.
So I said, man, I was living in Richmond. I said, I might as well go see if I could play. So when he told me, yeah, okay, he said, we like you, but we don't have no, I'm going to games. I'm sitting behind the bench. I'm thinking I'm about to play for Virginia State. They
Okay.
gave me a schedule. They was giving me 3 years to play two. So then he said, drove all the way. I was having family problems.
Right.
And I went back to New York, so I had to go all the way back to Virginia for a practice. And he said, when I got there, he said, something wrong. The girls got the gym. It's a leak, something. I drove all the way out there.
Ah.
And but the main thing is this, man. God, and I always tell people this, and so I'm gonna say it now while I'm on here. When I left Virginia State that time, I was on the freeway. I had my little son with me, and God told me, man. He said, "Listen, I'm gonna give you this opportunity. I'm gonna give you this opportunity to play, man. If you go sell drugs again, I'm taking everything from you." So now, I'm living in Virginia, everything good.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, everything went bad at home. Oh my God. So
Oh,
everything went bad at home.
wow.
And my train, that was the test. But
Yeah.
I'm not knowing it's a test.
Yes.
I went straight to New York.
Ah, back in Hempstead.
because things went bad at the crib. Like I think we needed bill money, stuff
Yeah,
like that, and
yeah,
that was the test.
that was,
God just told me,
yeah.
and I went out there. Boom! I ended up getting 10 years, man.
Ah,
So yeah, so now you know that's how that went.
wow.
You know.
So now you,
So being in there, and I remember one time I'm going to the shower and I look at the TV and I see Mike James on in the league.
you see Mike James on the TV, man. What's the flood of emotions going through now, man? Because I know that's heavy. That's
I
heavy, man.
see Mike James on
Wow,
the TV.
Mike James on the
I
TV.
see Virginia State in
Ah,
the Ebony magazine
ah,
for the CIAA tournament.
yeah, yeah. That's a big deal, man.
Hey,
That joint gets crazy out there. It's
I
a
was I was I couldn't I don't know, my heart was hurt. I was hurt.
he was hurt.
I'm talking about hurt like that.
Yeah,
That like crushed me. I ain't know I couldn't, and I had like 8 more years to do. I was sick.
you early in, man, and you seeing some of your guys and some of and that
Yeah,
you going through all of the woulda, coulda, shouldas.
yeah. And so yeah, that's exactly what happened. So I used to didn't like, a lot of times I get a lot of attention. People always talking about what I did in the past, and I
Yeah,
used to didn't like it. I used to didn't like it,
yeah,
but now with the social media and everything,
yeah.
I kind of embrace it now.
Okay.
I'm not ashamed of the story because, what I did learn off of it that I can always teach somebody is basketball is a gift that you're given. Like any sport, is that you given it. You given it at a young age. But if you don't realize it, it could be gone just that fast. And that's what happened to me. It happens. It was you had a gift and you didn't pay attention to it, and it's gone real fast. It's the sport that we love, but if you don't take care of it, it's gonna be gone. It depends on what you want to do with it. Some people want to just be on the team.
Yeah.
I wanted to be great. I wanted to make it. I wanted to be great.
Facts.
You know,
Facts.
and when you come from like I always played for championships.
Yeah.
Even in California, we lost in the Final Four.
Yeah.
But we always competed for championships. And we was the Tigers in California. We was the Tigers in Hempstead. But with that being said, man, it was a lot though. It was a lot though, man. It was a
I
lot.
think
It was a lot for my. It was a lot for my shoulders when I could look back at it, G.
I can see that, man. Like, and I like what you said, that you were saying that, man, you used to be embarrassed of it. Now it's something that you kind of embrace, and you can move forward from that. So
Yeah,
it's a level of growing through it. It's like a rehabilitation to it,
yeah.
because I feel like especially from the Black community, when you didn't make it, there's a level of embarrassment, right? There's also the big question mark is, what do I do next? Because there's a passion for it. There's a passion for that, and then it's like, all right, I'm so good at that, and I put so much energy into that. What do I do now? Where do I transfer that into that's still positive and I can have a good life? And if you haven't had an infrastructure or system from that, and we see that in so many Black communities across the nation, to we just use the talent and then y'all figure it out on your own if
And,
you
and,
have
and
the
when you
right
gotta
resource.
and when you gotta figure it out on your own, like it's really mind-boggling because, like I say, man, if you an athlete and you playing in these games and the more you an athlete with no support, that's the more you're gonna be broke
Yeah.
because you're not working. You're not working. You're just practicing. You're just working out. So you don't got nobody like covering you, making sure you all right. How you
So,
gonna survive?
so guess what? Guess what's waving and looking you right in the face? The streets,
Yeah,
the
and
fast
and,
money.
and now, and I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna say this, like, that wasn't what I'm just telling the truth, but it wasn't a good decision I made. It was definitely a bad decision I made, but it was a decision that I had to live with and grow from because I wasn't growing.
Yeah,
Even though I was playing ball and winning games, I wasn't growing in no other area,
yeah,
and that kind of like, like I say, this platform that you was able to give me to sit here and talk,
yeah,
because I definitely talk to people, especially about this, because You know, like I used to be shamed over this, man. Like I never
Understandable.
told people, I never went back to Hempstead High School.
I understand.
You know,
I
people
understand.
ask me, I didn't want to ask those questions because I remember when I was young, we used to
Yeah.
ask the questions.
You're gonna ask all the questions, man. Where you at? How much you average in college? What is it? All of that.
Yo,
Young fellas gonna ask that.
and if you say you ain't, you know, it's just not a good feeling coming right back to where you from.
No, and I feel like a lot of times too, we put the added pressure on ourselves more so than even from our neighborhood, right? Because I felt like I did that. I didn't have a good college career, had a
Right.
good high school career, man. I felt shame and I felt like I let down the neighborhood. So I can relate to what you're saying to some extent. And you had a whole other extra element to that. We're going to the streets and everything like that, so I can understand that. So, what do you feel, man? Hempstead's the program as a whole, man. What is it? The good and the bad, dude. Talk to me. If you could look at it from a bird's eye view, because the landscape of basketball has changed, man. We have guys like you, guys like myself that have certain levels of talent. These guys are now going to prep schools at an early age. They're going this and they're getting out of these types of environments. And sometimes it works out for them well, but they have more resources and access
Yeah.
information to give them a better opportunity to make better decisions. Now it's going to be on them, but it's a better situation where a lot of the times we was just going through it and figuring it out on our own, where now it's a different thing. What do you think about the Hempstead program? You know what I mean? From what you've seen from the 80s to the 2000s, man, the good, bad, and the ugly.
The good thing with Hempstead was the only thing good that I got out of Hempstead was winning.
Okay. Winning culture, man. Y'all dudes was dog.
Oh, everything else I got out of Hempstead, and it's not going to be for everybody else. It's just going to be for me. This is everything I ever got out of Hempstead was no good because I just experienced all my friends dying, going
Yeah.
to jail.
Yeah.
It's just a dark cloud. Only time I had fun in Hempstead is when I won.
Wow.
You know, that's all I can remember is the good times when we won.
Wow. Wow.
Everything else in between that, and that was years ago.
Wow.
It was no good times.
You were surviving. You were surviving, and then also you had to make these key decisions. You had to make these key decisions that can be life changing at an early age, and you had to do it often. So
Yeah.
that's a pressure cooker, man. I'm sure you're not the only one, but you know what I'm saying. I respect your bravery and courage to speak up on some of these things because we just look at the sports avenue and then, you know what I'm saying, we see the clippings and it's tons of that. And that's kind of like what we see on the top. But underneath the water, you know what I'm saying, underneath the surface, roots, underneath that tree, man, not everything is great. Some are, some aren't. So I really respect and appreciate what you're saying, tying in the good, the bad, and the ugly, and also taking accountability for yourself, but
Mhm.
also for the neighborhood. If you were over the Hempstead program, dude, what would be different?
What would be different? That's a
Based on
great question. I'm gonna
based
tell you
on
what
your
would,
experience, man, like what would you set up so somebody wanting to have that same experience that you had?
if I was a coach.
It doesn't necessarily be Hempstead. It could be any place in the country, but we're just talking about Hempstead because we already painted the picture of what Hempstead is from your perspective.
The type of coaching, like to be honest with you, the type of coach that I would be is a coach that's in tune with his kids, man.
Oh,
You
okay.
got to be in tune because at the end of the day, these stories I'm talking about, I was a kid. I was 14, 15 years old, but
Yeah.
having to walk like a man already.
That's hard. That's hard
And
work.
and
Hard. It's heavy.
what I would really do is I would have study hall with the kids. And the main goal when your kid is in college, the main goal when your kid is in high school, everybody got to go to school. Everybody got to go to college. Ain't no sitting around and we ain't talking about college to them. We just won 2 state championships, but only one person went to college. You like I got 2 state championships. Like we supposed to sit down. These supposed to be mandatory.
Right.
But guess what? Since those things didn't happen, I guess that's why I never ever spoke to these people again. And I wanted to speak, but like how many years went by? Last time I haven't seen. It's just that and that's what made me feel a certain way, because
Talk
you
about it.
know, you being a kid, these people been coaching you, and then when you get out of high school, you left in the island by yourself. Now I gotta figure out everything on my own.
Yeah.
Like no, like now no coaches that I played sports with coming up. None of them we call Don Ryan when we get in trouble.
We call Don Ryan.
When we get in trouble.
Yup.
You get what I'm saying?
Yup.
Like ain't nobody's like checking in and on somebody's back. We had professionals, man.
Yeah.
If we
Yeah.
won two state championships, we was just like any other. We was just like any other school in the country
Yup.
that won back-to-back state championships.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we all supposed to go somewhere. I don't care where you go. Everybody's supposed to be checked in, going to school. Where you at? This and that. Sean White, you're not playing today. You got to do this. It got to be like that, because if you don't, guess what? Then you'll be left out in the cold like a lot of us Hempstead athletes. After we finished high school, nobody went. A lot of people was around the way. I'm like,
Yeah.
nobody really. Or for all the talent for 10 years, man, it's supposed to be like how Amityville, y'all had professionals over there going to league. Y'all won all them things. People was going to school. You went to St. John's, you got Fraser. People went places.
We had some of those.
So you
Yeah.
so I heard Cal Jones say the other day um, about Mr. A didn't help his college thing.
Yeah.
But if you won two state championships, he's supposed to be all in. He's supposed to be all in, man.
Yeah.
Like with the kids, man. You're supposed to be all in helping kids get to college. Anybody that I know that went to college, even Lamont, nobody, it didn't go through Mr. A. The coach is supposed to know. College is supposed to call the coaches. Hey, how Sean White doing? Hey, how Lamont doing? How Cal doing? College is supposed to call the coaches. I
Right.
never heard Mr. For me to be the type of player that I was, he
Wow.
never talked to me about college.
Yeah.
He
Wow.
told he had talked to me about what he heard people say about me.
Right. So what do you think his perspective and his perspective and his
I,
thought of you was, you know what I mean, going through your career and then after your career. Now, when you was in high school, man, was you out on the streets like a little bit more than you should be? Was you dabbling in the drugs? Do you feel like
no,
he
I didn't. I wasn't selling drugs while I was in high school.
okay.
While I
O-
was in high school, I wasn't selling drugs. I wasn't doing none of that.
o-
I was doing the right thing. I was struggling and barely had a place to live. To be honest with you, I lived with
Yeah.
my aunts. This place, this I
Bouncing
slept
the
on
bounce.
this couch. Yeah,
Yeah.
we didn't. I didn't. I
Yeah.
didn't have like stable homes.
What you think his perspective of you was? You know what I'm saying? Because you kind of gave it. What do you think what do you think that looking at Sean White as the athlete in person, what do you think his perspective of you was if she was going to be honest?
You know, I would really like to know that myself, man.
I know that's
Because
what I'm saying. Like maybe you can ask
because
one
I
time.
don't know. I don't. I
What do you
don't.
think the vibe is? Like you know what I'm saying? Like you're not a dumb guy, right? Like you in order to maneuver and have to make decisions, you're not dumb. It's just more about where you put your emphasis at in your heart and in your gut. What do you think that he feels about you? You know what I'm saying from your
I
experience?
just think. I just think. I just think I was one of the dudes on the team, because if you got 12 people on the team,
Yeah.
I was the only one that had that situation.
Okay.
I the only one that came from a bad situation.
Yeah, the bad situation.
I
Like
the only one lived in the heart of everything.
you and
I did. So it just so happened I have to be good,
yeah.
but nobody paid attention to what I had going on. Nobody questioned me. They would ask me things, but they would never want to know why. They just asking me, but they not knowing. If you really, the same way you come to my house to ask my mother could I play, and he don't have any money, we're gonna pay for him to play.
Okay.
You gotta be in with you. You gotta be. This ain't even about me no more because I'm just giving my story.
You're giving your
But
story, but you're talking about,
but kids, yeah,
yeah,
kids. I'm talking about coaches all over the world. You gotta be in with the kids, man. Because I see how it happened to me when I got out of high school. I didn't know shit. I didn't even know which way to go.
yeah,
If you let me on the court, of course I'm gonna play. But it was every decision was made
wow,
by me, if it
wow.
was right or wrong, and I had to live with that.
So what I'm hearing is going up through the ranks, man, is setting you up, setting you guys up for having some life skills, some discipline,
Life,
outside life skills and discipline to be good decision makers off the court, right? And then also have the understanding of what it takes to go to the next level, not just on court,
yeah,
but we'll talk about the balance in the books and the court.
yeah,
Because that's a part of the package. Otherwise, you're going to be in full scramble mode when you get out of here. And there's going to be another class of guys that are very similar to you coming right behind you.
yeah.
And you got to figure it out. And they're busy doing almost the same type of thing with the next crew. Is that fair to say?
Yes, that is. That's very fair to say. That's very fair to say because it's a lot of me. What I come to learn is I'm not alone, and it is a lot of me's. It's a
Okay.
lot. It is a lot of me's. I've seen a
From,
lot
from,
of
from,
me's
from your neighborhood, or are you talking about in general? You talking about from your
in
from
general,
Hempstead? Hempstead.
but Hempstead,
Wow.
it's a lot of us.
It's a lot of you guys. So this is in part of the culture. The winning, but also this scramble mode
The,
when you
the,
get out.
the, the winning and
You got to take the long route to get into school for
listen to
most of you
this.
guys.
The winning,
Wow.
but it's like it's mind boggling to see all this talent,
Yep.
but you may only like I say I could count like Antoine Morton was football players.
Yes.
That's a whole different ball going because Krumanacker was a hell of a coach.
Different
Krumanacker,
program, different structure.
different program, different structure. Now
Got
Krumanacker was he was hands on.
He was hands on,
That's the type of coach
and you've seen it.
that you get when you go to college. And he's still doing it to this day.
So did he cross over and cross reference and check your stuff when he was on the football team? Like yo, S1, shoot
Krumanacker
like
only
that.
played 1 year and then he moved over. I only played 1 year with him. But
Okay,
I was a backup
I
when I
got
played for him.
you. I got
But
you.
he was a great coach and he was stern and you it was just different.
Yeah, yeah, but
Mr. Adams,
it
Mr.
set you up for
Adams,
his life. Cool. Yeah, go ahead.
like of course he I can't I'm not gonna take nothing away from him
Now we're not going to take anything away from him.
of what he did.
Absolutely,
But he was a laid back guy.
he
Him
was a
and
laid
him
back.
and Krumnak is two different people. He was a laid back guy, and during those 10 years, man, during those 10 years, he really didn't have too much. He had so much talent, man. It was so much talent coming through Hempstead, man,
Yes, it is.
to
Yes, it
where
is. So
he
he was just kind of driving the bus. Like I just got to make sure we get there because we got it. I'm gonna say the right things to the right couple people. I mean, y'all
he
gonna rock out.
he had a playground. He had a nest full of basketball players.
Yes, he
Some
did.
people, and it was crazy because back then you only could play for where you from, the school you from. So my best friends went to the street because they couldn't play over me.
Yeah, you got some guys that what I'm saying. Like you got a whole nother wave of 15 to 20 guys that couldn't make the team, and now they like, yo, I'm just gonna go back to the neighborhood and fast money.
And yep, and that's exactly what's the makeup of Hempstead. But everybody, like I keep saying though, everybody on that played on the basketball team wasn't like me.
You're pretty much the only one that had this severe in the trenches. You had some other people that had situations, but yours was the most severe. We still there? His phone, hope his phone didn't die, because he's You still with me, S1? Somebody in chat talk to me. He froze up on me. Mid conversation. Who's that? Ed Posey. Thank you, boss man. Thank you so much. Yeah, man, we're just trying to have a conversation, man. Celebrate my guy. Give him his flowers. His phone probably died. I bet you that's what it is. Talk to me, man. Is what he's saying valid? What y'all think, man? Yeah, his joint went frozen, but I'm trying to think if that was his phone dying. His phone might have said nah. He was getting into his story. We was going to pretty much start wrapping it up, but we'll see if he can try to join in, maybe charge his phone and try to join back in. But what I'm getting from him, man, is there's some there's some symmetry in these in the urban areas to where you can see the difference of a system of an infrastructure for the fluidity of how guys move on to the next level versus when we talk about the Hempstead program, you see all of this talent. You're seeing all of this talent, and then it gets really choppy when it's time for them to cross over into this college because there wasn't a strong enough. It doesn't have to be super strong, but it wasn't strong enough to get them across the finish line. We good?
Yeah, we good.
Okay. So I was just trying to just give a synopsis and recap because I mean you're getting all of this stuff off your chest. I,
Yeah,
I think it's great. It's coming off as a lot of different emotions from a passionate guy.
yeah,
I don't feel like it's too bitter, right? Like you're just looking to smear mud and throw mud on people's names. I
yeah,
think dealing with the real rawness of the severity of the situation, and there's a lot of other people that are going through this and have
mhm,
gone through this. This is the beauty of having a conversation. So I really like that you were open to having a conversation, but I thank you for being open enough to share a lot of stuff that you like you said, there was times where you was embarrassed to share it,
yeah,
right? Because I think that transparency can bring forth the healing and some closure, but also has some strength behind being able to help another person. Because you and I both grew up, and when you
mhm,
ask a person a question, especially an older person, we can tell pretty quickly if the dude is fronting or not.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But when somebody's not fronting, man, it is there's a certain energy and vibe behind that type of that type of passion when somebody speaks. Even if
yeah,
it's gentle, it doesn't matter the delivery, but you're like, yo, that was real.
yeah,
So what you're saying is a real experience, but like you said, there's many other people in different variations that are having this experience.
yeah,
From my research, you're seeing, I don't know how many guys went from Hempstead basketball to go straight into college with good grades without having to sit out their freshman year or had to go to prep school and
yeah,
work really hard and jump through a lot of hoops to get
yeah,
into a college uniform, right? So
yeah,
now, we do have to look at the system. We have to look at the home life, and then we have to look at the program system. You know what I mean? Because like that's what starts to form the decision making, and that forms the production. So you guys was essentially like pro athletes in high school, and what I mean by that is, as a pro, you get paid to play and go home.
hmm,
What about school? We already did that. So when your mentality is that, like somebody's pacifying the teacher, or like, yo, don't worry about it. He gonna get it next time. And you
yeah.
like, fool, as a youngin, we're gonna do what we can get away with.
If you don't, you're gonna do what you can get. If you don't got no structure,
Yeah. Very
and a
few
lot of
people,
times,
very few people are gonna say, yo, I gotta buckle down on my books unless somebody's on their back.
and a lot of times, like when I was going through that type of stuff, people used to probably be looking at me like I was crazy, but they just didn't understand. I didn't want to. I didn't. They just didn't understand. Like I could look back now and be like, "Yo, that dude S1 was crazy." You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, G, like you gotta. It just was. It was rough, man. It was rough growing up in Hempstead when you come from the bottom. That was it, man.
I,
That
I
that clear everything up in the nutshell. When
that
you
is
when you grow up, and you don't have any guidance or structure,
Right.
you can't concentrate on nothing.
Nah, bro, like you're constantly occupied. Your brain is constantly occupied. You're
Yeah,
looking over your shoulder. You're trying, you got family life. You got all of these different things pulling at you. So you can't really have any peace. There's really no peace for you to
no
really,
peace.
yeah,
No,
peace is a
no,
gift, right?
yeah,
So
no
you can't,
peace.
yeah, no peace, man. So you don't have any peace. So that's why you're like, I'm trying to find some form of peace
Yeah,
inside of it, and you can't. You're like,
and
I can't. I need some help, and
yeah,
I don't know where to go for the help. So then you go to where it can help me. Money can help me.
yeah.
I go there. What's the fastest lane there? And we
See,
have,
once my street friends accepted me, because those are the people that used to come to the games.
yeah,
These are people that accept me. These are people that I feel love me. These that I felt love me. Like these are people that accept me
wow,
and right or wrong and this and that. But nobody's still not like, yo, man.
yeah.
Yo, you that guy, G. You should be doing this so you can.
Okay. So
You,
we got the street guys in Emeryville. If somebody starts trying to move that direction as a good athlete, they push you back. Get on over, get away from here. Go to the basketball court. What they do
Mhm.
at Hempstead, and we'll kind of wrap a bow on it like that. What they doing that in Hempstead was the street guys embracing you
No,
guys, or and pushing you back to the basketball court, or they were embracing you and try to give you a little.
The whole Hempstead culture back then was screwed up. I mean, I'm gonna explain to you why.
Yeah, please get
Because
me in a nutshell.
it's no way.
Wow,
Now, and once again, I'm gonna say this:
talk to me.
all players didn't give it up like this. Like a
Okay.
Cal Jones or Antoine Moore, they didn't do these things.
Right.
Like, ain't no way I had 40 points last night and the alumni bringing 2 cases of 40s over here. That's how we celebrate. I'm 15, I'm 16 years old.
We got 40s in there.
Like, but that's the culture. That was the culture. We gonna drink. How
Yeah.
we gonna drink? And we supposed to be trying to make it to school. We supposed to be doing, but we state champions too now.
Yeah.
But we doing this and we doing that, and then when it's over, I'm telling you, once it was over, like and I got out of high school, it was no more coaches. I never spoke to these people again. The same people that I was like that we sweat blood, sweat, and tears at practice, and I never talked to these people again. I'm 51 years old.
Wow.
I've never talked to Mr. A since I was 17.
How's that make you feel?
Since I lost in the Long Island Championship at Brentwood at Stony Brook. I called him
How that
to
make
ask
you
him.
feel?
I asked him, do he have a problem?
Okay.
Because I was feeling some type of way that I played 4 years for you and I ain't get that curtain. I ain't need a curtain call, but I ain't get that respect. After I had a great career in Hempstead, man. I almost went to Glen Falls every year.
Yeah.
Like that's a great career for me to walk away and you don't even speak to me. I kind of now that's what made me start feeling like this.
Yeah. That
So
hurt you.
now I'm like, but he wasn't like that with everybody.
So why do
And
you
I
feel
don't,
why do you feel like
and maybe I don't know. Maybe he is quiet. I don't know. But I never spoke to the man again, man. I ain't speak to him since I seen him one day and he didn't even know it was me. I opened the door for him and everything. He got like he didn't know who I was, man. I just kept on moving, man. And I said, damn, you don't know who Sean White is? Yeah, true story. And
y'all looked each other y'all looked each other in the face and everything?
I was happy. I was about to hug him.
How'd that make
And
you
I
feel?
hold the door for him. I hold the door open for him. He just walked on past me, like looking at me. I was like, oh shit, what's going on? I called my man Jazz and said, yo, I just seen Mr. A. Yeah, like he didn't know who I was. And you know, so and you know, that's why this is great for me to be able to talk and say some things,
Yeah.
let some things out. Because for real, I did feel some type of way.
Yeah.
I'm
Understand.
not gonna say that I felt some type of way. Like, and if I was to speak, I would tell him the same thing. I felt some type of way, man. I played 4 years for you, man. Now, So say if I would have played 4 years and I would have went to California and I would have went to the NBA, would he would have wanted to claim me then?
Right, right, right,
Like, come on, man. Like, it is what it is, man. Like, I don't care if you're a bench player or if you Sean White or Kyle Ivy Jones.
right,
Everybody's supposed to get treated the same, man, to get to the next level, to get to the school, to get to where you're going, to get to the. You didn't teach me anything. A coach, when you're in high school, is
right.
almost like a father figure. You're
Yeah,
supposed to get these guys ready for life. Forget basketball.
right.
You never got me ready for life, man.
Yeah,
If you got me, if I've been around you all them years, if
yeah,
you got me ready for life, then I would have mentally I would have been somewhere else with it. I wasn't that bad. Like I was poor and all that, but I wasn't that bad. I wasn't making no bad decisions like that. But I did need some type of structure and help.
right.
Even if he would have told me I want you at the cell every day at this time.
Yeah, you would probably pull up.
I would have if he would have made it where I had to pull up.
Yeah, to instill. Like we're looking at instilling
It's still exactly.
Yeah,
But since that was never given to
that's
me,
not there at Hempstead.
mm-mm.
That's not there in Hempstead. So you got you have this. This is fascinating, dude. So you have this variety of this, right? And everybody's situation obviously is a bit different going through, and a bit different, but there's similarities on that exit from high school to you guys were just playing, bro. And if your schoolwork was on you, right? Depending on what your household situation was, man. If you had somebody, uncle, a dad, a mom, to be like, yo, you got to buckle down, man. Or I'm not gonna let you play, right? If that wasn't really happening, you guys were still playing.
Yep.
You guys were still playing. There was 40s being drunk, and so from the way you paint this picture is that they was turning a blind eye to everything outside.
Everything.
Everything outside, you know what I'm saying? Y'all figure it out on the court, you know what I'm saying? Once y'all put the Tiger uniform on, um, we on go, and we trying to win these titles, and then from there, all the recruitment and everything like that, all that's on you guys. And
Man, it was.
that's
Listen, one lady tried to help me.
all
She
right.
was
Let's
the
let's let's
dean.
wrap this up with this one, and then I got a couple of closing questions. Tell me about the lady that tried to help you.
She said, "You're not playing. No matter how much I didn't like it, she's giving me a lesson, and she the only one that stood up to me and said, "You're not playing." That's the game when Cal Jones got in my face. Mr. A went in the office and asked help. What can we do? It wasn't like, all right, he ain't playing. No, we
Go
we
sit down for the night, and then you go tell the team, yo, he out for the night, and then you come to talk to me in the office after the game, like one of
man,
them type
listen.
songs, and that could have changed the course of you. Like, yo, I don't want this feeling again.
Hey, no, it was more like, and don't get me wrong. At that time, I was a kid. I want to be on the court.
We all want to be on the court.
But
We
but
be on the court.
but now when I'm looking back at it, I'm like, I shouldn't have been on the court. That would have taught me something in life.
But this
That
is like
just taught
parents.
me. That just even gave you just gave it to me even more.
Are you a S1? Are you a parent?
Yes.
It's parenting, right? Like sometimes you want to love and be the friend of your child, just so that you're building that relationship. But sometimes you're gonna have to show a level of tough love and discipline by giving them something that they don't want, because you know it's going to be for the betterment of their situation now and moving forward. Because you're going to learn some life lessons today. You can't act this way and get this result.
Yeah.
It's not going to work out in your favor. And this is what I'm hearing it was not going on. So I appreciate you speaking out on this right now. It's all love for everybody, but this
Yeah.
is the experience that you had. So I'm hearing a lot of different things, man. We celebrate you for being able to walk through that, man. It takes a lot of strength to be
Yeah.
able to get through your situation, man. So we want to give you your flowers, bro. Like, give me,
Yo,
give
appreciate
me one thing that you would change for your high school career, and then we're gonna end it up with some love.
one thing that I would have changed in my high school career.
Hey, you can do two things.
No, it's only one thing that I needed to do.
What?
Lock in.
Lock in. Lock in.
Lock in with the grades.
Lock in on
Because
those books.
because look, sports is already there. I was already born with that.
Yo,
I didn't know that then.
yo.
Like I used to be sitting in class lost, man.
Lost.
Like I needed a tutor and everything, man. I used to be sitting in there thinking I just gotta go to class.
I just got to show up to class, but you don't know what
Just sit in there for 45 minutes. But I don't even know what's going on.
Space Jam in there. I don't know.
Yeah, Jay. That's why I say, man, coaches gotta be father figures, man. Coaches gotta be father figures if you want to see kids. If you really care about coaching, you gotta be a father figure. You can't just be a coach and win games and then you never speak to the kid again.
Yeah, that's a big topic, man. That's a heavy topic, man, because then we go into, and I don't want to do that too much. Now we go into speculating. That's why I asked you based on your experience, right? Because I can't speak to Coach A. I don't have any experience with him.
Yeah.
Based on your experience, what do you think it was? Because if you ask me something about Coach Agostino based on my experience, I can give you an answer based on my experience. And that's why I asked you that. But we can't speculate too much. Hopefully we can get an answer out of him someday. That would be pretty cool for the neighborhood. Give me your best moment. What was your best moment in high school, dude? What rings off right away?
I'm gonna have to say my first state championship.
First state championship?
I'm gonna say my second one.
The second one?
Because the first one, even though I was getting burned and everything and everything, but I didn't feel like how I felt my second one.
You got a bigger role?
The second one I made all tournament and everything. I just was more in play with the team.
Yes, sir.
See, I was a backup. I was coming off the bench my
Yeah.
sophomore year, so it felt a little different.
Yeah, you didn't have the same role.
No.
Yeah, so you had that role. All right. I asked everybody for this, man. This is a big one. I see you smiling. You kind of know what's going on.
Mhm.
Give me your all-time starting five for Hempstead Tigers.
All right. Is Kyle Jones in the thing? Because
He
I want.
wasn't. He was in the thing. He was in there.
All right. Now
He's,
I
he,
would have put Cal Jones on there, but the reason why I'm not gonna put Cal Jones on there, and I want to say this, Cal, me and you won championship in West Virginia. Me and you won back-to-back championships in high school. You ain't never won no championship with no Warren Stiff. Why would you change the thing? We already won together, Cal. You got to stay with me, man. We did it together, man. We got a buddy when we was young, and we got two states. Warren ain't never won no state championship in basketball. How you put Warren on there? I won with you, Cal.
Tell him S1.
And that's it. But
He switched up on you last minute.
yeah, but my five,
Give me a five.
I got a tough five, man.
Yes, you got a lot of
And
names to pull from.
my yo. So since Cal he admitted it, I got to put Cal up there. I'm gonna put him back
Absolutely.
up there.
You got Kyle Ivy Jones.
But I got four guards, man.
Okay, we're gonna run. We're gonna do a Villanova Wildcats type thing. Give me the names.
Number one, I got Two Holloway.
Two Hollow.
That's my favorite guard.
Super polished game. We love his game. He was cooking at Xavier. Had a great year overseas. Shout out to Two.
Two Holloway, and then I got to go with Lamar Hugh and Lenny Hugh. And the reason why I'm gonna put Lamar up there because I ended up being the way I was because going at practice with them.
Ooh, okay.
Getting roughed up by them.
Okay.
Level with Lenny was a defensive monster. So if you could get you could go to war with him.
You're going to war with him. So you
Go
putting
to war with him. So me, Cal Jones, Two Holloway, and the twins.
and the Twins.
Lamont and Lenny.
That's a strong.
I go to war with them. Ask Cal Jones, do he like that?
Yeah, I need some names in the chat. No Ferg, no Eastar.
Because I only can put five.
I know
Only
you
can put five.
Woo. Listen. This is when you have a rich history, somebody's going to be left off, right? We know you got a bunch of guys that you can do. This is why it's your list.
Yeah.
This is why it's your list. Y'all gonna be cooking.
Two is my favorite, man.
Two is good money.
Yes, that's my favorite. So I had to put him on there with the guards. I got to put Lenny on there because he's going to play defense. You're going to go to war with him. You're going to go to war with him. Lamont, you got to put Lamont on there because, yeah, Lamont is a bad man, Jay.
I like it.
You know what I'm saying?
I
You know what I'm
like
saying?
it. You stand on that? We gonna put a stamp on that? Or you
That's my fault. That's my yeah. I'm standing on that right there.
standing on that?
Yeah.
Because this is gonna be archived, so I don't want no switch up later. Because I'm gonna pull a footage. I don't want no switch up later, as one.
No, no. That's because look, I could play the wing.
Yeah, that's what you want. That's why you want all the guards because they could drive and kick.
Yeah, I'm gonna play the wing. Let Two Holloway get in the paint.
Yeah, so you can John Starks.
Yeah,
I want to
man.
hit the wing and shoot all these threes.
Yeah,
I
man.
see what you did. I see what you did.
Yep.
So, so in a synopsis, man, bring us, man. What is the culture of Hempstead type? And then I'm a wrap a bow on this conversation.
Oh, you talking about today?
Overall, we're talking about overall, man. Like
Um,
give us it because it's one of the flagships of Long Island when it comes to basketball. We're not going to make any mistake about that. Give us the culture, man, all the way. Wrap it up for us.
Hempstead was a winning dynasty
Yes, it
for
is.
10 years,
Yeah,
for a long time, and then it hasn't been for probably the last 20 years, right?
yeah,
And but I get it because what happens is this: you got like let's just say my friend Jazz, he played on the team with me. When he sent his son to Hempstead High School and they was 3-8, I was wondering why you let him go to Hempstead knowing no colleges is gonna talk to a team that's losing. Let's just be straight up. You get 4 years at this. So I'm gonna send my kid to struggle at a struggling program, no matter if I'm from Hempstead. It's about my kid.
right.
Why do you think Lamar Hugh kids don't go to Hempstead?
I don't
Why do
know.
you think none of them people kids go to Hempstead?
Listen, you educated me because I don't know like that,
Yeah,
but you're starting to see the poaching. We're gonna talk about this as a whole other topic. You're
yeah,
seeing a lot of public schools getting poached by prep schools and everything like that, and it's understandable because you're having guys like you. If you was in a situation now, you might have somebody that sees the talent in you and say, "Hey, man, I'm gonna pull you over into this school and give you some structure, dude." Right? And you're seeing that a lot with the resources and the ability to get NIL. So you're seeing that now with more information with parents like you. Like, nah,
yeah.
we ain't doing that. You're not going to Hempstead. I'm gonna put you in.
And that's bad. That's bad that today I would say, oh, I ain't sending my son to no Hempstead. And that's bad that I would say that.
I know it's a whole other topic, man. It's a whole other topic
You
because
know?
landscape. It's a different landscape to Long Island basketball, but I think what you're saying, man, it makes a lot of sense to me, and it's your truth. Most
Yeah,
importantly, this is your truth, man.
yeah,
So you stand on it, man. I stand on it with you, man.
yeah,
And hopefully, this rings out enough for people to be able to be comfortable and confident enough to share their story and some of their peaks and valleys in it. That's life.
yeah.
There's decisions that we love, and there's decisions that we would like, man, I would change that. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what shapes us.
Yeah,
So salute to you, bro. Like just being able to go through all of the ups and downs, been
yeah.
like struggling for such a long time in survival
Mm-hmm.
mode with a lot of peer pressure and in this pressure cooker to try to be successful, right?
And think you're gonna get your family out the hood.
That's one of the things. Yeah, I gotta be the one. I gotta be the one. Use my gift to get us out.
Yeah,
And now when that starts to get rocky, where do I go from here? I don't really learn any other skills. So now I know this opportunity is there because I'm seeing my peers doing that.
work
I,
that.
I may not love that, but man, it's the fastest way for me to maybe do what you just said and get my family out there. I got children now, so salute to you, man. Then being able to go through your bid and come on the other side, man. It's a blessing that you're still here with us to share the story.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man.
And so I want to give you your flowers, man. You a Hempstead legend. You put on for the culture of Long Island basketball, man. And I really appreciate you wanting to share your story on this platform to help build this thing. But it's
Mm-hmm.
very educational, man. And for you to hopefully you can take and get some closure from this, man, to know
Mm-hmm.
that we love you, bro. And that it's going to be love moving forward, at least from over here. At least from over here, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hopefully, this can spark some other conversations in the town,
Mm-hmm.
improve that area, and look at some of the infrastructure that was in the past,
Yeah.
and kind of change it up in the future. But also, overall, just being able to make better decisions inside of your own situation. You have no control over the next man,
Yeah.
but you gave them the real to be able to have a better understanding of you, and then also maybe enough courage to look themselves in the mirror. Because I feel like you started doing that. You looked yourself in the mirror
Mm-hmm.
quite enough times to be able to hold yourself accountable and to
Mm-hmm.
speak on some things. Man, I don't feel like this is
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I respect that.
I respect it for you respected it.
I'm,
Real. I respect it for you respected it.
yes, man.
Real, man. Because you let me get it off my chest, man. I appreciate that, man.
Nah, I think it's very valuable for not just you as an individual, but I learned quite a bit, not just about you, about your neighborhood, but just really about life in general, man. This is something that if we pluck and we drop the pin in another black community somewhere in America,
Mm-hmm.
we'll probably have another situation that S1 had.
Exactly.
And
Because
you sitting down and you'll be like, yo, y'all be pointing at each other like, yo, that's my story. There's
yeah.
somebody like that, bro, because of the infrastructures or the lack thereof, man. So it's a pressure cooker, man.
Yeah.
It's some form of. So for you to even make it with the grays in your beard and you being able to smile, that's
Yeah.
a blessing, bro.
Yo,
That's
I appreciate it, man. For real, man.
yeah.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, bro. Yeah,
Yeah.
bro. So it's much love, man. Thank you for contributing to the page. For all those who are not, please go ahead and hit that join button on the Long Island basketball. Speaking of that, man, what you think of the page? What you think of the
Oh
page?
man, I love the page.
What you think of the page, bro?
I love the page. I
Yeah,
love the page, and what I really love about it
yeah,
is I see people like Jason Bell on there. That
yeah,
was a guy we went to war with Long Beach, man. Jason
yes,
Bell was a good dude, man. Me and him always had laughs together, man. Good, cool dude, man. I
yeah,
see him on here, man, and I haven't probably seen him in like 30 years, man.
exactly,
So
exactly.
this page is great, man. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? This page is great, man.
thank you, man. That was the thing, man, is to try to have one platform where we all can do exactly what we're doing. Have some fun, educate,
Hmm.
talk out trash, but also break some of the barriers because from inside your own neighborhood there's turmoil. But you already know when you was playing against certain teams, you're like, I don't rock with those guys, right?
Yeah,
But now as grown men, man, like we might be missing out on some good relationships, you know what I'm saying, because of that. So
yeah.
I want to try to break that barrier from all of the Long Island and have it ring out all the way through. So I want to say, man, thank you again, bro.
All right, man. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, much love, man. We'll be talking offline, man.
All right, say more.
All right, man. Much love.
All right.
Chill.